Now, if we move this background copy to the top, then it's hiding all the layers below it, and we're seeing what the original image looked like. So we can toggle that on and off, and we can see that there's a pretty dramatic difference between the result we have using the masks and the adjustment layers and the original. What we're going to do now is do some repairs on this image. I'm going to call them repairs. So we're going to delete some of these little distracting sort of details in here to just clean this up. Let's click on the background layer, and then let's make a new layer right above that. Let's call this layer repairs. And then let's go to the clone stamp tool. And let's go ahead and let's zero in on one of these details that we're going to eliminate. So I'm going to start with these three people over here. And I'm going to click on the background. And then what I'm doing, I'm in the clone stamp tool. I'm going to hold the Option key on a part of the background that I would like to sample those pixels from. So what I want to do is just sample someplace in the grass on the background. And then I'm going to go back to my repairs layer, and I'm going to start painting over these little figures here. And you can see that there's an X next to my cursor, and what that's showing is the area of the image of the background below it that I'm sampling those pixels from. So what it's doing is it's taking pixels from the sample area and I'm painting them over the area with my brush. So let's go ahead and get rid of this little railing over here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click the background so that I can sample pixels from that layer. I'll hold the Option key someplace in the sky where I'm going to sample part of the image. I'll go back to my repairs layer, and then with the clone stamp tool selected, I'm just going to start brushing over part of the image that I want to remove. All right. Now there's this little, kind of like a little something here. I'm going to do the same process. Click on the background layer where I've got some pixels I can borrow from. Click someplace in the grass. Option click, I should say. Go back to my repairs layer, and then just paint over that. Get rid of the shadow. All right. There's a little something over here that I want to eliminate. So I'm going to Option click somewhere in the grass. I'm going to go back to my repairs layer and start painting over that. There's a shadow. Oops. I need to resample. Let me go back to background, Option. Oops, this is not what I want to do. Let me go and sample from some grass over here. Go back to my repairs layer, and there we go. So I want to eliminate the shadow for that object as well. Sometimes you're going to need to resample just to stay within the area that you want to sample. Right. We've got this little person in the bushes here. Let's get rid of him. All right. So it's looking a lot cleaner. All right. So I'm going to save now. We need another layer. let's see what happens if we turn this image black and white. So let's I'm going to click on the background copy up at the top. I'm going to go to Adjustments. Let's go to Hue and Saturation. Make a Hue and Saturation layer. Let me call this, we'll call this BWHS. And I'm going to turn the saturation on this all the way down so that what we end up with is a black and white image. And if we want to, we can experiment with some blend modes. Right now we're in normal, which makes this image look black and white. But if I choose darken, it gives it a kind of sort of like vintage faded color kind of a look. And we can toggle this on and off. All right. We can, if we really want to go back to black and white, we can choose normal again. So we can toggle that on and off as well. I kind of like this look. And if we want to see what our original looks like, well, we can move this background copy to the top. And if we turn this on, we can see here's what the original image looked like. And if we toggle that off, we can see the adjustments that we made. And the nice thing about these adjustment layers is that we can always make further adjustments. None of these are permanently affecting the pixels on this image. So we could go back to the sky, for example, and we could play around with the saturation some more. And the hue. You know, we could just continue to play and refine this image.